What if you could compress a lifetime of wealth building, 10, 20, maybe even 30 years, into a single 24-hour window? I realize that sounds absurd, but that's exactly how Wall Street insiders and Silicon Valley's inner circle have been actually playing the game for decades, which probably explains something you've felt in your gut. No matter how hard you grind, no matter how much money you save, no matter how responsibly you invest, you never quite seem to pull ahead. And that is not a coincidence. The American economy has, in fact, been rigged against the little guy for way too long. That is about to change, and in a very big way, because according to former tech executive Jeff Brown, by the end of this month, Elon Musk is going to begin to execute his secret AI master plan that will crack that system wide open. For the first time ever, everyday folks are going to have a chance to flip the script and potentially cash in on what he calls day one retirement plan. That is the moment that an exciting tech company goes public and begins trading in the stock market. I will tell you, no other market event creates more overnight wealth than a technology IPO. And I'll give you some examples here. Early investors who got in at the pre-IPO stage had a chance to turn $1,000 into more than $1 million in Facebook on its first day trading in the stock market. More than $1.6 million on Uber's day one as a public company, and more than $2.3 million when Google went public. So imagine one day you're living your normal life, 24 hours go by, the company goes public, and everything has changed. You now have complete financial freedom to do everything and anything you want for the rest of your life, for decades. These wealth-building opportunities were once reserved for rich insiders and the Silicon Valley elite. Everyday folks on Main Street, no way, locked out, left with table scraps. That changes today, my friends, because angel investor and former tech executive Jeff Brown is going to show you how to claim your stake in what he's calling the biggest artificial intelligence IPO in history before it goes public. He believes Elon Musk could officially file the paperwork by the end of this month. We've got no time to waste here. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Hurt, and in this very special episode, we are chatting with Jeff Brown about the upcoming SpaceX IPO. Jeff is a former senior executive of three major public tech companies, Qualcomm, NXP Semiconductors, Juniper Networks, three firms that now generate more than $50 billion in annual sales. He is also an angel investor who's invested in hundreds of deals involving private companies, with returns as high as 5,344%, 7,367%, even a mind-blowing 11,011%. Because of his tech expertise, he's advised senior officials of the Department of Commerce, policymakers, members of the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, and the Defense Intelligence Agency. And all that experience has given him the ability to see big tech trends before most people catch on, which is how he was able to pick Bitcoin before it jumped as high as 52,400%, Tesla before it jumped as high as 2,150%, and NVIDIA before it jumped as high as 32,000%. Big numbers there. Jeff, thanks for being here. How are you?
Chris, I'm doing fantastic. I can't tell you how excited I am about what's coming this year. And I've been looking forward to this conversation because there is a big misconception right now about SpaceX's upcoming IPO. I mean, most people think this is about Elon Musk's dream of going to Mars, or perhaps about expanding his satellite internet business called Starlink, but it is actually much, much bigger than that. This is all part of Elon Musk's AI master plan.
So this is an artificial intelligence story then.
I believe this is the biggest AI opportunity of 2026.
Right. Well, clearly, everybody is talking about this IPO. Everybody. Fortune says it could be the biggest IPO ever, and it's all over the headlines.
Absolutely.
Reuters, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, the New York Times even wrote an article predicting, and this is a quote, "This IPO will unleash gushers of cash for Silicon Valley and Wall Street." So
I saw that.
At this point, I think everybody understands SpaceX going public, very big deal, obviously. Let me admit something, though.
Okay.
Because when I first heard you saying SpaceX is going to be the biggest AI IPO in history, it did confuse me a bit because you just mentioned it. SpaceX is a rocket company. How can that be related to artificial intelligence? You're going to have to clear that up for me. It is confusing.
Well, I promise I'll explain everything today because obviously Chris, there's a lot of money on the line here. I mean, Elon Musk himself is predicting we could see 1 quadrillion in new wealth.
1 quadrillion. I looked it up. That's a 1 with 15 zeros after it. Truly mind-blowing. Seriously, that's the first time ever I've heard anybody talking about an investment opportunity involving that kind of money. That's amazing.
You're right, Chris. I mean, that's more than 30 times bigger than the entire U.S. economy. And it's enough to send a check for $2.8 million to every single American, including everyone who's watching us today. This is a very rare opportunity for everyday folks to pocket huge gains on the first day SpaceX begins to trade in the stock market. In the longer run, the gains obviously could be much bigger.
Wow.
Elon Musk is predicting anyone who invests $500 today will have a chance to turn that into $500,000 or more as he begins to execute on his AI master plan.
It's not every day we see an opportunity to turn a tiny stake like that into an entire nest egg.
You're right about that. I mean, these types of explosive IPO opportunities, sadly, they're normally off limits to everyday folks. So what's about to happen by the end of this month is really special.
Yeah, and I know normally only very wealthy people on Wall Street with connections, can get into these kinds of private deals. But to be clear, you're saying this SpaceX IPO is going to be different, that everybody watching this today can get in today. They don't have to be rich or accredited investors.
Everyone can get in, and I'll show everyone how they can get started with as little as just $500. And that's a big deal because nothing creates more overnight wealth than an exciting tech company going public. I mean, those who were lucky enough to get into Facebook while it was still private watched their wealth skyrocket by more than 105,000% on IPO day. Now, Chris, that's enough to turn a tiny $1,000 investment into more than $1 million in the first 24 hours of trading.
It sounds so ridiculous, but it happened. I mean, it's like we mentioned earlier, you're compressing decades of wealth building time into that 24-hour window. One day you're living your regular life and the next you're a millionaire.
Exactly. I mean, the Wall Street elite who got into Google when it was private had the same exact experience. On the first day of trading, they watched their wealth explode almost 230,000% higher. That's enough to turn $1,000 into more than $2.3 million, all in the first 24 hours of trading. Or let's have a look at Airbnb. That's a name everybody knows. Yeah. Investors with connections who were lucky enough to get in, they watched their wealth explode almost 500,000%. That's enough to turn $1,000 into $5 million on IPO day.
My goodness, unbelievable.
Well, imagine, Chris, you're just a regular guy and you think Airbnb is an interesting idea. You put $1,000 in it just to see what it can do, and you just kind of forget about it. 24 hours of it going public, you're now a multimillionaire. Your life is literally never the same again. I mean, we've seen that happening with Uber when it went public as well, with Twitter, and even with Zoom, just to mention a few more examples. Now, of course, none of these opportunities were available to everyday folks, and that's what makes SpaceX's IPO so special. Now, for the first time ever, everyday folks will have a chance to claim a stake in what I believe will be the biggest AI IPO in history. And we'll just need to act fast here, though.
Right. So to be clear, that's happening soon.
Well, Elon Musk has already interviewed the Wall Street banks that will file all the paperwork and take the company public.
Okay.
That's how far along he is. And he's already announced he has IPO plans to his shareholders, confirming that it will happen soon. Now, I believe he'll file the paperwork by the end of this month, and that's why I'm urging everyone to claim their stake now. So, Chris, I mean, please understand, this might be the most anticipated IPO in history.
Well, I can feel the excitement in you right now. I mean, the enthusiasm is there. The excitement is in the air. I get it.
I mean, you know how long I've been researching SpaceX. Everyone is salivating to get into this IPO. Samuel Caro, the head of global equity at Merger Market, called SpaceX one of the most exciting opportunities in the global IPO market. That's an understatement. And he also said that the company has been on the dream list of several investors for years. Barron says SpaceX could be a feast for investors in 2026. And Zacks Investment Research agrees with me. It predicted this will be the most anticipated and successful IPO ever. So Let's think about this logically, Chris. For the first time ever, hundreds of millions of investors around the world will have a chance to buy shares of one of Elon's most successful companies, a company that has revolutionized space exploration in such a big way that it basically has no competitors. I mean, what do you think is going to happen on that very first day of trading?
Oh, it's going to be madness. I mean, that's the only logical conclusion. It's going to be a stampede like we've never seen before.
When this company goes public, Chris, I predict we're going to see the biggest buying spree on the first day of trading that we have ever seen. I mean, that's why Shea Ballor, chief market strategist for Futurum Equities Research, predicted it is going to be the craziest IPO in the history of the stock market. I mean, Chris, there's going to be so much buying pressure that I wouldn't be surprised if shares double, triple, or more in the first day of trading. And that's why I am pounding the table that we need to get in now before the IPO, before they open the doors to millions of investors around the world.
All right. So suffice it to say, everybody understands it is critical to get in ahead of the crowd on this one. Definitely.
I am expecting huge gains on the first day of trading, and that's going to be just the beginning. I mean, thanks to his AI master plan, Elon Musk is now predicting SpaceX could make 1,000 times your money.
Yeah, we mentioned that before. It still sounds kind of surreal to me. He's projecting every $100 invested could turn into 100,000.
I know it sounds crazy, but this is coming straight from Elon Musk. He recently predicted on social media, and I quote, "It will be more than a 1,000x return." And that turns $100 into $100,000, $500 into $500,000, and a tiny stake of $1,000 into $1 million.
My goodness. All right. So to be clear then, you're going to show us all how to claim our stake in SpaceX. You're not going to recommend a supplier and some sort of ancillary company or anything like that. You're here to recommend an actual stake in this company, SpaceX.
That's correct. And I'll show everyone how they can claim a stake starting with $500 right from their computer. And it could be as simple as buying any other stock. The most important thing is to act now before it's too late.
Okay, points made. Let's get into some of the details here. I'm still a little confused because I don't understand how SpaceX is particularly related to artificial intelligence. I know you said it's all part of Elon's AI master plan. So I guess the first question is, what is that master plan? Why are you saying this is going to be the biggest AI IPO in history?
Well, this will be a game changer for the entire AI industry. But Chris, before we move on, I want to ask everyone who's watching us for a small favor.
Okay.
I'd like to ask everyone to keep an open mind, because when I reveal all the details of Elon Musk's final AI master plan, nobody will want to believe me. They'll tell themselves that this is just science fiction. But let's keep in mind that everything Elon Musk has done throughout his career sounded insane at first. So, Chris, do you remember what Elon's first big business was?
Well, that was PayPal. Everybody knows that, I think. He was one of the co-founders, I think.
That's right. It was in the late 1990s when most people, definitely you and I, were still mailing handwritten checks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had this crazy idea of making payments over the internet. Now, that was unimaginable to most folks, but those who thought digital payments were a crazy idea, well, they missed out on huge gains from PayPal. So, for example, venture capitalist Peter Thiel used special stock deals to turn just $1,664 into $3.8 million. That's one of the most famous stories of Silicon Valley.
Right. And the lesson there is doubting Elon Musk is a huge mistake.
It was a huge mistake. Or let's look at SpaceX. Now, Chris, imagine I'm Elon Musk, and I told you just a few years ago that we're going to launch a 6,700-ton rocket the size of a 20-story building into orbit, and we're going to bring it back to Earth. And then when that massive rocket re-enters the orbit, it will be dropping at a speed of more than 17,000 miles per hour. But that's not going to be a problem at all, because we're just going to catch it with a giant mechanical chopstick. How does that sound to you?
It's like lunacy. But I see your point here. I mean, that is exactly what Elon Musk has been able to do with SpaceX. We've seen the amazing videos online and social media.
No, it's just breathtaking. So exciting. I mean, it was the same story with Tesla. But think back to 2004, the idea that AI would be able to drive an electric car. With little help from the driver, it sounded insane.
It did.
But those who dismiss self-driving cars as just science fiction, they missed out on a chance to turn $1,000 into more than $430,000 in shares of Tesla. So my point is, as crazy as Elon Musk's AI master plan will sound to you, I'm going to ask you and everyone watching us, please suspend your disbelief for just a moment, because we might never see an explosive opportunity like this ever again. And again, I believe shares could double, triple, or more in the first 24 hours of trading. And in the long run, Elon Musk is predicting investors will have a chance to make 1,000 times their money.
All right, Jeff, I will keep, speaking for everybody watching, we will keep an open mind. The least we can do is listen to what you have to say about this, because like you said, it does sound like an incredible opportunity. So let's talk about the AI master plan. You're saying that there's this big misconception right now about the SpaceX IPO. So what is it that all of us are missing that you're seeing?
All right, well, this isn't about rockets going to Mars or about Elon's internet satellite business. Instead, it's the biggest AI story of the year. And that's a big deal because you can pocket huge stock market gains when you can explore a market misconception, when everyone else is wrong and you're right.
Right.
And that's when you make the most money. Let's look at Bitcoin, for example. Chris, back in 2015, did everyone think Bitcoin was a good investment?
I hate that you're putting me on the spot. No, and I was one of them. I had my doubts. Most people thought it might be a scam, but I know you took advantage of that misconception, right? Take a look at this. We've actually got a graphic. At that time, Jeff published this write-up on cryptocurrencies and encouraged people to buy Bitcoin. It was trading for just $240 at the time. But anyone who listened to Jeff and held on had a chance to turn $1,000 into more than $500,000. Amazing.
Well, those massive gains were only possible because of that huge market misconception.
Right.
Once everyone else figured out Bitcoin was not a scam, they started buying and pushing the price a lot higher. And the same thing happened back with artificial intelligence in 2016. So, Chris, I have to put you on the spot again. Was anybody talking about AI or NVIDIA back then?
No way. Nobody was talking about it then. I think the first time I heard people talking about AI was when ChatGPT was launched in 2022. And I think that back in 2016, most people had never even heard of NVIDIA, period.
And the few who had thought it was just a video game company.
That's exactly right. Most people thought it was making chips for video games. But I will add, Jeff, you had a different view. February, I think, of 2016.
That's right.
You picked NVIDIA as one of your favorite stocks because you believed it was one of the most important companies out there enabling AI and machine learning. Take a look at this. Since that time, right, February of 2016, shares have jumped high enough to turn $10,000 into as much as $3.2 million. And as NVIDIA went on to become, of course, the most valuable company, most popular stock in the world.
Well, that was another incredible opportunity to turn a tiny stake into millions, literally. And once again, those massive gains were only possible because of a huge market misconception. Once everyone figured out NVIDIA wasn't just a video game company and that its chips could be used to develop and run AI, everyone started buying shares like crazy, driving the stock to the stratosphere. We saw something very similar with Tesla. Back in 2018, virtually everyone thought shares were ridiculously overpriced because they were evaluating Tesla as a car company.
I remember that very well. We have some headlines from that time as well. The media was even calling Elon Musk a fraud, and I think Wall Street analysts were predicting Tesla was about to crash. But again, Jeff, at that time, you actually explained to your readers that this was a huge misconception. You recommended Tesla to your readers, and here's what you wrote. When I think about Tesla, I see one of the leading artificial intelligence companies in the world. This is the incredible part that most don't see or understand. Tesla designed a software AI platform designed to operate cars. That's from November of 2018. You were essentially telling your readers, Tesla's not a car company, it's an AI company.
That's exactly right. I was very clear about it. And Chris, I remember this was the most hated and controversial recommendation I had ever made to my readers. Some people wrote to me saying that there is no way in hell they would buy shares of Tesla. They thought it was just a ridiculously overpriced car company.
Which was a big mistake on their part, because those who listened to you and held on had a chance to turn $1,000 into $22,500.
Absolutely. That's right. So, Chris, as you can see, some of my best picks had one thing in common. There was a huge market misconception. And once everyone figured out what was really happening, shares exploded higher. And I believe we're about to see something very similar with SpaceX. Everyone thinks this IPO is about satellite internet or even about Elon Musk's dream of exploring Mars. But that couldn't be further from the truth. This is all about AI. I mean, Elon Musk has resisted taking SpaceX public for years. And I have to say, I can't blame him. When your company is public, that comes with a lot of scrutiny from Wall Street. The regulatory burden is also ridiculous. You have to file a ton of paperwork every year and report earnings every quarter. And that's why, with the exception of Tesla, all of his other companies are private.
That's a very good point. XAI, Neuralink, Boring Company, they're all private.
So think about this, Chris. SpaceX is already profitable. It doesn't need more cash to continue operations. So why now? Why take the company public and raise billions of dollars?
That's a good question, and you have a good answer, I'm sure.
Well, this is all part of Elon Musk's final AI master plan. He is going to use money from this IPO, tens of billions of dollars, to solve one of the biggest problems in the AI industry. And I believe he will fully unlock the most powerful AI ever. In fact, Elon Musk himself is predicting that this will be so powerful that investors who get in today will have a chance to make 1,000 times their money. It will be so powerful that Elon Musk is predicting it will increase the size of the global economy tenfold.
Tenfold. The entire global economy, 10 times bigger.
That's his prediction. And if you do the math, that's 1 quadrillion in new wealth. And it all begins with this SpaceX IPO. I mean, Chris, here's the bottom line. Elon Musk is going public because he needs to raise billions of dollars to implement his plan to unlock the full potential of AI, and he's about to solve AI's biggest problem.
All right, now what problem is that? I mean, the biggest AI problem he's trying to solve is what?
Well, big tech firms have been investing billions of dollars in AI data centers, as we know. These are massive buildings filled up with computer hardware from top to bottom, stacked on top of each other.
Right.
These are essentially the high-powered computers that run AI, but these data centers have a big problem, and it is holding back the development of AI. They consume crazy amounts of electricity. A single data center consumes the equivalent of 100,000 households, and we're building thousands of these data centers. Our power grid simply can't handle the demand from AI.
And I have actually seen that in the news. The other day, I saw an article saying that the demand from AI is driving millions of Americans' electric bills higher, right?
That's right. Bloomberg recently reported that in some areas near data centers, the power bills have jumped almost 300% in the last 5 years. Can you believe that?
Not good.
I mean, this is a serious issue. And that's why Goldman Sachs called electricity AI's biggest bottleneck.
All right. So the big bottleneck, as you just said, for AI is it's not computing processing power or chips. It's electricity. We don't have enough.
We do not have enough. And the demand for power will only increase as AI keeps getting more and more powerful. Chris, as you can see here, computational power is doubling every 7 months now.
So it's really growing exponentially.
But just think about how crazy that is. Just 7 months from now, AI will be twice as powerful as it is today. And that's how we're going to get super intelligent AI, fully autonomous cars, humanoid robots, intelligent humanoid robots, and all the other AI applications that will change the world. That's going to happen much faster than anyone can imagine, and it is going to require a lot of electricity. And by the way, it's not just electricity. These data centers also generate a ton of heat, so they end up also consuming tremendous amounts of water to cool down the computing systems. So just to give you an idea, Chris, the biggest data center uses 5 million gallons of water a day. Now, that's the equivalent of 1,000 homes. So that's another big problem. In fact, electricity and cooling are the main cost for these data centers. And when you account for both, electricity and water, it can cost up to $21 million a year. And that is where the SpaceX IPO comes in. Elon Musk found a way to bring that cost down to zero.
Zero? You're saying he found a way to run these AI supercomputers without any costs?
It's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't see how that's possible.
Well, Chris, imagine if we could power these AI supercomputers with free, unlimited, clean energy and without having to use a single drop of water to cool them. That is Elon Musk's genius idea. Now, I'll ask everyone again to keep an open mind here, please, because this is a part of the conversation that will start to sound absolutely crazy. And I want to once again remind everyone that every single Elon Musk idea at first sounded absolutely insane. PayPal, self-driving Teslas, Neuralink, even SpaceX itself sounded absolutely insane. But they all turned out to be wildly successful. And I believe it will be no different this time.
All right. Well, we're all ears. We promised we'd listen. So what then is Elon's AI master plan?
Well, Chris, you know that Elon Musk has been beaming internet service from space with his satellites, right?
Yeah, Starlink, the satellite network. He's been very successful. I've been hearing lots of good things about it.
It's amazing. I have one myself. So Elon had this genius idea. Why not pack these satellites with the most powerful AI chips, GPUs, and send them to orbit where they can be powered by the sun 24/7. That is 100% free, clean energy. And that's why Elon Musk said the lowest cost way to do AI compute will be with solar-powered AI satellites.
All right, just give me a second to catch up here. He's planning to use satellites to run artificial intelligence from space.
Sounds crazy, but it makes perfect sense if you think about it. Chris, there are no clouds in space, so the satellites will have constant exposure to solar energy, and the AI chips won't have any risk of overheating. They're in space. It's ridiculously cold, like minus 250 degrees cold.
Okay.
So the satellites will be able to just shed extra heat through radiators and let it disappear into the void of space. No fans, no water. The heat is just gone. And unlike physical data centers on Earth, there's also no land restrictions. So you could have hundreds of thousands of supercomputers floating in orbit, powering the most exciting AI applications right here on Earth. Chris, I am talking about a scale and power without limits. Elon Musk is about to unleash the full power of AI. And I believe everyone who claims a stake today will have a chance to make big gains when the company goes public. I believe you could double, triple your money or more in the very first day of trading. And in the long run, Elon is predicting you could turn each $100 into $100,000, each $500 into $500,000, and each $1,000 into $1 million.
All right, it does, at first, it does sound like a crazy idea, but now that you've explained it, I see where you're headed with this, and it sounds like a brilliant idea. You're predicting that he's going to use the money from the IPO to fund this particular AI master plan?
It's not a prediction. Elon Musk has confirmed it. He said that's the main reason why he's finally taking SpaceX public. His chief financial officer also sent a letter to shareholders explaining that they're taking the company public to raise money for projects, including, and I quote, AI in space.
If you still have any doubts this is an AI story, take a look at this. This past February, Elon merged SpaceX with his AI company xAI. And Elon Musk called this combo, and I quote, the most ambitious, vertically integrated innovation engine on and off Earth with AI, rockets, space-based internet. So this IPO has just become even bigger.
Well, I know that in just a minute, you're going to show everybody how they can get started with just $500 right from their computers. Very exciting. Because if Elon is right about this, that single $500 investment could turn into $500,000. But first, bear with me. I want to take one step back here. This is all making sense, what you're saying, but I'm sure there are folks out there watching who think, this still sounds a little bit like science fiction to me. So level with us for just a minute. You honestly believe this is something that Elon Musk can really pull off?
Well, if there's one thing everyone should have learned by now, it's this. Doubting Elon Musk is a losing proposition. As billionaire and venture capitalist Peter Thiel famously said, never bet against Elon Musk. And Chris, if you still think this is too crazy, you should know several other big tech players already understand that's the future of AI. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is betting the future of his rocket company, Blue Origin, on that trend. And he's trying to develop the technology to compete directly with Elon.
Bezos is trying to develop same kind of AI satellite?
He is, and he's not the only one. The former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, he bought a private rocket company called Relativity Space for the explicit purpose of launching these AI satellites into space. NVIDIA is backing another rocket startup company called StarCloud. It also wants to operate AI systems from space. IBM has also invested in a space company, and it's also working on a prototype.
So these are you're talking about big heavyweights here.
These are big names.
Amazon, NVIDIA, you said IBM. They are, right now, they're masters of AI, and they're all working on this idea, this some concept.
They are, and that's why the New York Times wrote, it's only a matter of time before computers that power AI will float in orbit. Now, all these companies I just mentioned have a huge problem. They're competing with Elon Musk, and I believe they have no chance of beating him. They should just throw the towel in now and give up. What Elon Musk has been able to do with SpaceX is truly incredible. Chris, launching an object into Earth's orbit has always been extremely expensive because you could only use the rocket one time. But just imagine if we had to scrap every commercial airplane after a single flight and replace it with a new one. I mean, ticket prices would probably reach tens of millions of dollars to cover the huge costs of what would be disposable airplanes.
Yeah, air travel would be a luxury reserved for billionaires at that point.
Exactly.
Okay.
Until recently, that was the reality of space exploration, though. Traditional rockets were used once and then they were discarded.
That's right.
They just fall into the ocean or burn up in the atmosphere or just be thrown out into space. But for that reason, each mission would require an entirely new rocket, which is why the costs were astronomical. But then everything began to change in 2001 when Elon Musk joined the Mars Society, and he began to research how he could bring down the cost of space exploration. And that's when he had this crazy idea. What if, instead of using a disposable and very expensive rocket in every single launch, we could develop a reusable rocket that could go to orbit and come back to Earth? So he took the $100 million fortune that he made with PayPal, and he started SpaceX with the main goal of developing a reusable rocket. Now, most people thought it was a pipe dream. So-called experts told him it was just science fiction, that it would never happen. Chris, they laughed at him.
Yeah. Well, they're not laughing now.
Nobody is laughing now because Elon Musk has done what most experts thought was impossible. So instead of building new rockets for each mission, SpaceX is able to reuse its rockets. And for that reason, it's estimated that SpaceX has cut the cost of launching payloads into orbit by 65%. So, Chris, as you can see here, from 1965 to the early 2010s, there was essentially no growth in man-made objects launched into space. And then Elon Musk entered into industry, and boom, the number of launches went parabolic. But the point I'm trying to make is that Elon Musk has been working and developing this for the past 25 years.
Right. You basically believe anybody that wants to compete with him has got a lot of ground to make up for.
I believe it is impossible to catch up to him now.
Really?
I mean, he already has all the know-how and all the infrastructure in place. SpaceX has already built out a literal World Wide Web in space with Starlink, and it already has more than 9,300 Starlink satellites in orbit. I mean, that's its space-based internet backbone. So he has years of experience operating a massive array of orbital satellites. In fact, Elon Musk has already developed these special AI satellites They're called Starlink version 3, and they're ready to go.
And take a look at this breaking news. The Federal Communications Commission has just accepted SpaceX's filing, seeking approval to launch up to 1 million satellites into orbit to power AI. So things are moving really fast.
SpaceX is also building the biggest rocket in history called Starship. It will be fully reusable, and it will reduce the cost of launching satellites into orbit even more, by at least 90%. Because with just a single launch, it will be able to deploy thousands of these AI satellites. Just listen to what Elon Musk said recently. With Starship, which is the largest flying machine ever made, the cost of access to space will drop by a factor of 100. So it makes putting large satellites into space very cheap. So tell me, Chris, how do you compete with that?
Yeah. Well, I agree. It sounds impossible. He's too far ahead at this point.
Well, he is so far ahead that these competitors can't even see him, not even with binoculars. I mean, that's why Elon Musk believes that by the end of the year, SpaceX will account for 99% of Earth's payload to orbit. And I believe he's absolutely right.
99%. So if you're right about that, it means actually people will have a chance to claim a stake in what could be America's next big monopoly. Am I wrong? Is that what you're saying?
You're not wrong. With its reusable rockets and lowest cost of launching satellites into orbit by a wide margin, nobody can compete. It's not even close. That's exactly why Reuters called SpaceX an emergent monopoly. And that's why Elon Musk is predicting anyone who gets in today will have a chance to turn a single $100 bill into $100,000, $500 into $500,000, and $1,000 into $1 million.
I can see now why you're so excited about this IPO. That would be huge.
But remember, Chris, we need to get in now because millions of investors are salivating. They're just waiting for this IPO. They're waiting for that moment when they can just log into their regular brokerage account and buy shares of SpaceX. That's why I believe this will be the biggest buying spree in history. It will be complete madness. Shares could double, triple, or more during that first day of trading, which is why I'm urging everyone to get in now and get ahead of the masses. This is a very rare opportunity to get a stake in a tech IPO. Like you showed earlier, early investors had a chance to turn a tiny stake of $1,000 into millions on Facebook, with Google, and even Airbnb.
And we talked about it earlier. Nothing creates more wealth in a 24-hour period than an exciting technology company going public out there. And obviously, after everything you've shown us and told us here, pretty clear to all of us that SpaceX is definitely going to be the most exciting tech company we've seen go public.
Just imagine, Chris, when SpaceX finally goes public and it's making headlines, everyone on CNBC, the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, imagine reading about how shares doubled, tripled, or more on IPO day, and imagine telling your friends and family that you already had a stake. That you got in before the IPO.
I was just thinking about it. It would be an incredible feeling. Amazing.
Well, it's only going to be possible if you act now. Remember, Elon Musk is already talking to the Wall Street banks that will actually take the company public. In fact, I bet his team of lawyers are drafting all the IPO paperwork as we speak, and I believe he'll file it with the SEC by the end of this month, and it could send the valuation of the company much higher, even before it goes public. Now, that's why it's so important to get in now, and it's why I put all the details of this opportunity inside a special report called The Biggest IPO of the Decade, How to Claim Your Stake in SpaceX. Now, inside, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. I'll show you the website you need to go to and walk you step by step through the process. I promise this is easy as buying any other stock, and you can get started with as little as $500.
This is really fantastic news. It's very exciting. And folks, this report is ready to go actually right now. Jeff wants to give you the report completely free of charge. All he asks in return is that you try his monthly research service, and it's called the Near Future Report. Try it for the next 30 days with a no-risk membership. That report, the Near Future Report, is where Jeff publishes his best investment ideas every single month. It's called the Near Future because the future is coming much, much faster than we think, right? Technology is moving so fast that it's very hard for everyday folks like us to keep up with it. Probably noticed that yourself. By the time we hear about it from the mainstream media, it's usually already too late. Shares have popped, the big money's been made and is off the table. So in the pages of Jeff's near future report, he focuses on identifying and profiting from big trends on the verge of mass adoption before they become breaking news on mainstream media, just like he did with Tesla, Bitcoin, and Nvidia. Aside from showing you early stage trends and giving you a chance to get ahead of everybody else, in the pages of the near future report, Jeff will also help you navigate the ups and downs of the stock market at large. For example, March 17, 2020, right in the middle of the peak pandemic hysteria, Jeff sent an urgent video to his readers, and he made a very bold call. We have a clip of that. Let me play that for you right now.
Things are absolutely going to get better. Probably the best opportunity to make investments over the course of the next decade.
3 days later, after that clip was filmed, the stock market actually began a historic bounce back. And since that time, the S&P has jumped almost 200%. Some of the picks from Jeff's model portfolio jumped even higher than that. If you'd held on past their original recommendations and sold at the peak, you could have made as much as 645% in Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing, 860% in Palo Alto Networks, 1,500% in Arista Networks, and 4,000% in Nvidia. That's just mentioning a few. These were all market-beating gains. Remember, you can try the Near Future Report. Just try it for the next 30 days with a no-risk membership. And when you do, Jeff will immediately send you the special report that we've been talking about here, the biggest IPO of the decade, how to claim your stake in SpaceX. Normally, a one-year membership to the Near Future Report costs $499, but because time is of the essence here, Jeff is going to give you a huge discount. We don't want the price to be an issue. That's the main part that you need to understand. The most important thing now is that you get into this play right now before Elon files that IPO paperwork with the SEC. But before we give you the details on the discount, there is another special report Jeff put together for you, and I'll let you do the honors. Am I right about that?
That's right. I mean, the second bonus report has details on a little-known Elon Musk supplier that I believe could go parabolic in the coming months and years. And Chris, we've talked about this before. For years, AI has mostly been invisible. It was just software powering things like search engines and chatbots. But now we're moving into the next phase of this AI boom. It's what I call manifested AI.
That's right. You did tell me AI is no longer operating only in the digital world. It's now manifesting itself in the tangible, real one, powering physical things through automation.
That's right. And that's why the CEO of NVIDIA said the ChatGPT moment for robotics is coming. Manifested AI will bring about the next industrial revolution. Now, I'm talking about the physical embodiment of artificial intelligence. It is not just the rigid, single-arm, single-task robots that we've seen in car factories for decades. I'm talking about intelligent, vision-guided robots that can work side by side with humans, adapt on the fly, learn by doing, and even make decisions in real time. Most people think that's many years away, but a few hundred of Elon Musk's humanoid Optimus robots are already walking factory floors at Tesla offices in Fremont, California.
Right. It's not science fiction. It is already happening.
It's already happening, and I believe things will scale really fast from here. And most people have no idea what's coming and how fast things are about to change. Elon expects to have thousands of these robots working at Tesla factories by the end of this year, and factory work is just the beginning. Elon just announced that by the end of next year, Tesla will be selling these humanoid robots to the public, so they'll begin to hit homes across the United States.
Right. I think we've all seen the videos of Musk's robots, but, I think a lot of people also still think it's kind of a pet project. I mean, seriously, it's kind of hard to imagine a world with millions of robots walking among us, right?
Well, just like they couldn't imagine cars that drive themselves. I mean, I believe those people are making a big mistake, and they will end up missing out on the biggest consumer product of this century.
Consumer product. Now, see, when you say that, the first thing that pops into my mind is the iPhone. You're saying this robot could be bigger than the iPhone.
Oh, most certainly. Yes, and that's not just me saying it. According to Goldman Sachs, humanoid robots could become the next must-have device, just like smartphones were. Now, Chris, imagine having a butler that's smarter than any human on the planet, one that can teach your children and grandchildren better than any teacher, one that could instantly answer any question that you might have about pretty much anything, or one that could also do any tasks around the house, wash the dishes, do the laundry, mow the lawn.
Yeah, and that's Elon's vision.
Yes, he predicted that in the future, everyone will want to own one of these Tesla robots. He's planning to scale Optimus up faster than any product in history, and he predicts it will become the biggest product ever of any kind.
Wow.
He believes it's so revolutionary that it will increase the size of the global economy by tenfold, and Elon is expecting his robot to unleash so much wealth that he even called it an infinite money glitch. And I have to say, I believe he's right.
Yeah. Should we be buying shares of Tesla?
Well, yes, I'm extremely bullish on Tesla right now, but aside from Tesla, I'm also recommending shares of another smaller Elon Musk supplier. This little-known company is already supplying Tesla with a key piece of sensor technology, so I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up supplying Optimus with those sensors as well. In fact, Morgan Stanley just recommended this stock as one of the key ways to play this robotics trend, and they're not alone. While most people are in the dark, a total of 39 hedge funds are investing in this little-known stock.
39. So it sounds like it's going to be a mad rush here. Now, how do folks get started with this other opportunity you're talking about?
Well, I put all the details inside another bonus report called How to Profit from Elon Musk's Robotics Revolution. And anyone who joins the Near Future Report today will get instant access to this report completely free of charge. And there is more.
Okay.
I also want to give everyone here access to another report called How to Profit from the Next NVIDIA.
Wow, now that's intriguing. The next NVIDIA, what's that one about then?
Well, today's AI chips are almost entirely made by NVIDIA. It's estimated that it controls 80% of the market. And it's a big reason why shares of NVIDIA have skyrocketed by more than 32,000% since I first recommended it. But now NVIDIA has competition. I found a company that has just developed an AI chip that's 21 times more powerful than NVIDIA's flagship Blackwell GPU. It costs 1/3 less, and it also consumes 1/3 less electricity than NVIDIA's chips.
Well, that clearly sounds like it's a much superior product.
It really is. Researchers at Los Alamos National Laboratories tested this new chip, and they were shocked. It performed 179 times faster than the world's most powerful supercomputer. So for anyone who missed out on the 32,000% gain from NVIDIA, I have to say this could be your second chance.
Well, folks, you heard what Jeff just said. He put all the details, including the name and ticker symbol, into another report called How to Profit from the Next NVIDIA. That is also yours the very moment that you take this risk-free membership to the Near Future Report. So here's the deal. I mentioned this earlier. The normal price for a one-year membership, $499. Today, you get a huge discount. You can begin your risk-free membership for just $179. Now remember, Jeff is not even asking for any type of long-term commitment here. He's just asking that you try it out. Decide later if it's right for you. He's going to give you 30 days to do that, to test out the service, no risk at all. And if during that time period you find that you're not getting the best tech investing research you've ever seen, or for any reason at all you have to do is call our customer service team and cancel the membership. They'll give you a full refund of your order, no questions asked. And we'll let you keep everything that you got as a member, no charge. That's right. Keep all the special reports that you see on your screen right now. Again, the biggest IPO of the decade, how to claim your stake in SpaceX, how to profit from Elon Musk's robotics revolution, how to profit from the next NVIDIA. You keep it all, which means this is a no-brainer. There's no risk to you at all for the offer, and you can get started right now just by clicking on the button you see on your screen right now. It'll take you to another page, and you can review everything there one last time. And look, if you're still not sure the Near Future Report is right for you, let me share a few emails. This might help. Jeff got these emails from his readers. This is direct feedback. Maybe that'll help you decide. So Tim wrote in to say, Jeff, I've been investing and working in the technology industry since 1985. Your insight and experience is easily the best I've ever read. I'm in my first year with you and have made good money with your recommendations. Thank you. Ruan wrote in and said, I've been a loyal subscriber for some time now and greatly admire and appreciate the work you do to bring us readers such quality recommendations. Your newsletters are well worth their weight in gold. And then we have one from Leonard, who wrote in to say, just wanted you all to know this is the most trustworthy news and picks I ever came across. Hands down, my portfolio is nothing now but Jeff's picks, and I'm very pleased with how they're performing. The best newsletter published, period. Keep up the great work. You could be the very next success story. You may be writing in soon. Please click on that button and get started right now. Just keep in mind that all investments carry risk. Past performance is never going to be a guarantee of future success, so please don't invest more than you're willing to lose. Jeff, we're wrapping things up here. Not a lot of time left. You've been very generous with your time. I'm going to give you any final thoughts, last words that you want to share with everybody?
Well, thanks, Chris. Yes, and I just want to once again express how special this opportunity is. As we discussed earlier, the lucky investors who were able to get into a tech IPO early hit the jackpot over and over and over again. And honestly, I never thought everyday folks would have that kind of opportunity. Normally, that's reserved for rich institutional investors and the Wall Street elite with connections in Silicon Valley. And yet, here we are today. The SpaceX IPO is open to everyday folks. I believe it will be the biggest IPO ever, and anyone can get in today starting with just $500. And remember, Chris, past tech IPOs produced incredible wealth in the first 24 hours of trading. $1,000 would have grown into an entire seven-figure nest egg on Facebook, Google, and Airbnb, all in the first 24 hours of trading. So this is an explosive opportunity we'll likely never see again. For the first time in history, hundreds of millions of investors around the globe will finally get a shot at owning one of Elon Musk's most successful companies. When SpaceX hits public markets, it will not be a normal IPO. It will be a stampede, a once-in-a-generation buying frenzy that will shock everyone. The moment trading opens, I believe we'll witness the largest first-day buying spree ever recorded. Shares could double, triple, or even more on that first day. And that's exactly why I'm pounding the table right now. So if you want a chance to make the biggest possible gains, you must get ahead of the crowd before millions of investors rush in and drive shares to the moon on that very first day of trading. And remember, in the longer run, Elon Musk believes anyone who gets in today will have a chance to make 1,000 times their money. The key here is to get in now. If Elon Musk is right, and I believe he is, this is your chance to turn a single $100 bill into $100,000. You'll likely never see an explosive opportunity like this ever again, but the clock is ticking. And I bet Elon Musk's team of lawyers are drafting all the paperwork as we speak, and I predict that he will file that with the SEC by the end of this month. In fact, we could wake up tomorrow with the headlines all over the financial media. I highly recommend you claim your stake before that happens, because if you wait until it's on the front page of the Wall Street Journal, the valuation of the company could be a lot higher, and you'll have missed out on the chance to make the biggest possible gains.
Folks, you need to go ahead and click on that button and get started right now. This IPO, obviously only going to happen one time, which means today could be our last chance to partner with Elon Musk. And when you join Jeff today, you're going to get access to everything you see on your screen. Again, 12 months of Jeff's best investment ideas. Every month, you'll get a brand new issue of the Near Future Report with his top ways of playing AI, robotics, self-driving cars, quantum computing, and all the most exciting tech trends of our time. Bonus number 1, the biggest IPO of the decade, how to claim your stake in SpaceX. And inside that report, Jeff is going to tell you how to get started with as little as $500 and why Elon believes you could turn that tiny stake into $500,000. Bonus number 2 is called How to Profit from Elon Musk's Robotics Revolution. Jeff did find an Elon supplier that he thinks is going to end up playing a key role in the robotics revolution, a revolution that could unleash $1 quadrillion in new wealth. Find out its name, its ticker symbol, and all the details inside that report. And you're also going to get how to profit from the next NVIDIA. This one's exciting. Inside, Jeff is going to tell you about a company that has just developed an AI chip 21 times more powerful than NVIDIA's flagship chip. If you missed out on the 32,000% gains from NVIDIA, this is your second chance. And aside from all these special reports, you're also going to get full 24/7 access to Jeff's members-only website. And that is where you can access all the issues, all the special reports, video updates, and his model portfolio, where you can see all of the current open positions. And lastly, you're going to get full support from Jeff's team. Feel free to call or email them for any help you may need with your membership. Just please remember they can't offer any personalized investment advice. So click below right now. You got to get started, because like Jeff showed us here today, he's convinced Elon Musk is going to file the IPO paperwork possibly before the end of this month. You have got to get in before that occurs, because once this makes headlines in Bloomberg, the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times, it's going to be too late. This is your shot to partner with the one and only Elon Musk, the genius of our generation. Imagine for a minute telling your friends and family that you own a piece of all of Elon's rocketry. Imagine telling them that you have a stake in what could be America's next tech giant, a company that's going to help unlock the full power of AI with unlimited free energy. That's the opportunity in front of you right now. It's set to be the biggest IPO in history. And while most people are going to have to wait until the company goes public, you can actually get in ahead of the crowd. You can get in today, starting with just $500. You do not have to wait. If you act now, when the company does go public, could be the biggest payout of your life. And that will only be possible, though, if you click the button and get started right now. Jeff Brown, thank you very much for being here with us.
Oh, thanks, Chris, for having me. And thanks to all of you, everyone, for watching. I look forward to welcoming you to the Near Future Report. We have so much to look forward to.